Welcome back to West Texas View.
Judy just told me an interesting thing. I've been saying victims of AIDS, and she said, no, that's not correct. It's people living with AIDS. So I hope I can change my vocabulary.
It's okay.
Because I was thinking, should I call them clients or victims? And neither one of those are right. People living with AIDS. So I want you now to tell that you've got this organization going, you've gone to your first school, and you don't have an employee yet. You're just trudging along all by yourself, and now it just blossoms right out from under you. All of a sudden you've got public schools, you've got everybody calling
I did it all by myself most of these last years until the last 6-7 years, something like that. We've been in existence 22 years. For the first 5 years, we had no money coming in. I put my money into it, and my interior design business went down the tubes and everything. I worked and still do day and night. It has just grown.
Yeah, getting you two to come on the TV show was a hard sell because you didn't have time.
Right. We work very, very hard. We started out with 5, and we've got close to 300 now, and we not only speak in schools all over Texas. Our main focus is Midland. We are mandated by the MAAS school board as part of a 3-part program, along with the Life Center and a new curriculum for junior high kids. And I'm so proud, I just have to interject this, I'm so proud of our school board and our school system, because when we were, the last few years, for years we were #1 per capita in the country of having the most pregnant teenage girls. So
all the way down to 5th and 6th grade.
Right. So Dr. Ryder Warren, he really took the bull by the horns and went to the school board and everything, and they approved and to go from abstinence only, which does not work. It is the only way to be safe.
It would be ideal.
Well, we still
no.
promote abstinence only, because it's the only way to be 100% safe, because you can get a deadly STD, HPV, from the skin around where the condom fits. But Dr. Warren and our school board and Tracy Dees and others, they took our school system, our MISD district, from abstinence only to abstinence plus, telling them that abstinence is the only way, but telling them if you're going to do something anyway, this is what you need to know. And we are one of the very few districts in our state that's abstinence plus. And since this 3-part program has gone into existence and we have stepped up, so we are now mandated along with the Life Center, and we have all stepped up and are speaking to young people than ever. And last year, teen pregnancy dropped 27%. It was all over the front page of the paper.
Gosh.
And I'm so proud of that. That's a community coming together.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add that, abstinence plus, sometimes, both my brothers were preachers, so I go to First Baptist, so I'm a good Baptist boy. But abstinence plus is just that. We promote abstinence, but we give the other information. And I want to give a good example of this, because I didn't even know this until I started working with MAAS.
Aren't you lucky to have him?
I'm so lucky.
Oh my goodness.
Very.
The HIV virus, the period in the newspaper, if you looked at the period at the end of a sentence, we could fit almost 300,000 HIV viruses in the size of that period.
Oh my.
That's how small they are. And we tell the kids all this information. And, when it comes to condoms, they might or might not protect you. There's no guarantee. And we make that very clear. And like Judy said, with HPV, it's skin-to-skin contact, so you're not protected by that. And when we say that 300,000 can fit at the end of a period, do you think you can see a defect in that condom that's that small that virus could go through? And on top of that, but there's you know, the information that oil-based products break down latex, and latex is the only kind that might or might not protect you. Again, so it's just the information. And I know people often get concerned that, well, you're promoting having sex. It's just the opposite. We're promoting one true love, waiting till you're older, getting in the right peer groups, making good decisions. But if you're going to do this, be aware that all these things can happen to you too. If you're not,
just maybe they'll stop just before.
It's a fine line because, and I tell them before I go into the condom program, I tell them, I'm going to tell you things that can happen and can go wrong, and how you don't have a written guarantee because you use, but I don't want you leaving here today saying, well, I'm going to have sex, but I'm not going to use a condom because Judy Warren just said they don't work. And I tell them, I'm not saying that. You better not. You better do everything that we're getting ready to talk about if you're going to have sex, because it's the only hope and chance you've got. And there's too much out there to worry about. They don't know about the 8 STDs that can kill them. We list those for them. We talk about those and their decisions and how important their decisions are and who all they affect. And I tell them that they cannot afford to be kids like young people have always been able to do. We could have made all the mistakes we wanted to make. And like Preston always says, you know, and if I had gotten pregnant, my mother and father would have killed me. But I didn't really have to worry about dying. They do. And so I tell them today that you've got to wake up. You have got to be proactive for your one life, not reactive. Young people react to the situation and to the pressure for a lot of different reasons. They're not proactive and thinking ahead. I tell them, don't just think of now and what somebody wants from you now or what you want to do now. You think about what can happen to you, and you be proactive about making the right choice so that you can get down the road to all the good things.
And there's no take backs. You can't make a mistake, and we tell the kids, and all of a sudden you got HIV and say, well, I'm not going to, okay, I'll stop now. Sorry, there's no take-backs. It's a one-time deal.
No King's X.
That's right.
And the interesting thing, though, is that I can assume that they would really be that way, that they'd say, I won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take a break, and we'll be back. Oh, this is the end of the show. I'm sorry. We're going to be back next Sunday and have our third program and our final program in this series about HIV. See you next week.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.